The wafting evil had to get rid of that dwarven contraption on the overworld, as it posed a threat to the underground, and with it, the dungeon heart. It was therefore necessary to build a mighty dungeon, or rather, to have one built, because, as a wafting essence, the disembodied evil could not do much itself.
Oh.
The gold-hungry evil had built a treasury. The meager amount that could be stored in the throne room was simply not even close to enough for a proper gold bath. The gluttony-loving evil had built a gobbler farm. Here, delicious gobblers were raised to serve as food for the horde. sheltering evil had built a hideout for the Horde's creatures. These could henceforth build themselves a place to rest there. The army-raising evil had recruited its first creature, a bit underwhelming considering that it was sitting on the throne of the gods a short time ago. But fresh starts are never easy. The evilest evil could use the hand of terror, not only to intervene, but also to lend its little snots the impetus they needed by giving them a spirited slap. The detestable evil had earned some delicious evilness. Excellent things could be done with it, such as exploring new stuff. However, first, a place had to be found where the evilness could be stored. The absolute evil quickly built a vault of evilness. Glamorous evil had built a vault of evilness. This allowed it to henceforth store evilness and use it.
Oi! No need to sit around being lazy when we could be picking up a little gold while we're here, eh? On you go, lads! Grab the nearest gold vein.
Sooner or later, the greedy dwarves would dig their way into the dungeon. The perfidious evil used a workshop to prepare traps to stop the gold-stealing dwarves in their tracks. Technological progress has almost always been a fine thing. Further research could not only make new units or rooms available, but also increase the maximum number of little snots or creatures. The hard work allowing evil had built a tinkerer's cave. Here, little snots could use the work units to make toolboxes, which were needed for the more extravagant dungeon accoutrements.
It's payday.
Oi! Something dug into my gold mine. Yeah! And it had to be stinking orcs, whose skulls are at best used as toilet paper holders in the lavatory. Okay, boys! Tear this joint to the ground!
Dwarves had opened a passage into the dungeon. The little snots immediately executed Order 67, as they had been instructed to do by Talia in such a case, which meant that they ran through the dungeon with their arms flapping wildly. At the same time, they opened the secret trap cache, so that the tricky evil could give the dwarves a very warm welcome.
Oi! How long is this stone thing going to take, lads? Snookums and I weren't planning on dying of old age here.
I sure hope not, because I have a whole different set of plans for just how you lot are gonna die here.
One of your creatures has died. I'm sure you're shedding a tear right now as you hire the next 3. Later, you may also be able to resurrect these creatures.
What's one dead creature if it gets one closer to the goal of freeing me? Come on! Free me already, you rotten maggots!
Did you little honey buns forget your little baby bottles? Or how did you manage to lose to a bunch of lousy orcs? But fine, we still have some reinforcements here. Reinforcements? Attack!
Obviously, the danger from the dwarves had not yet been neutralized. Luckily, the little snots had made a few traps in their spare time, and they were only too happy to make available to the all-consuming evil. The workforce hoarding evil had increased its maximum little snot limit and now had access to even more of the industrious little creatures. your creatures has bit the dust. Payday! The little snot's trap glittered and gleamed. Soon, gold-hungry dwarves would be biting their teeth out on it as they unknowingly fast-tracked for a quick demise. Area has been unearthed in the dungeon. Another saw trap was mounted halfway up to be even more effective against dwarves. Payday! The saw trap's blades whirred along the wall, just waiting for bread to slice, or heroes, whichever came first. The saw trap was perfectly suited for cutting tree trunks, but since they wouldn't become a resource until Dungeons 5, it would have to settle for dwarves for now. The Thrasher was a very powerful trap, just waiting to snap several heroes to nirvana at the same time. A Thrasher had been set up and was waiting for heroes who dared to go near the carousel. Ding dong, it's payday. Were defeated for the time being. Satisfied, the essence of absolute evil rubbed something together that could perhaps pass for two hands together. The all-destroying evil had conquered the exit. This left the way to the surface open for its troops. Absolute evil's creatures blinked a little as they stepped into the glaring light of the sun. Finally, they could lay waste not only to the boring corridors of the dungeon, but also to the lush green meadows of the overworld. Your army has just decreased in size due to deaths. The horrific evil had destroyed a camp in the overworld. The defeated heroes ran away crying and tried to entrench themselves behind even higher walls.
Payday.
The vile evil had destroyed another of the heroes' camps. Screaming at the top of their voices, the survivors took to their heels.
Oi! I have to protect the blueprint, Snookums. Otherwise, the orcs will eventually end up building some decent machinery here. Well then, keep your chin up, Toodles.
Brynhild, what are you doing? I thought your dwarfs could easily handle a few orcs.
Problems, brother mine? Oh, what a shame. I had actually already planned on making myself a tea set out of dwarf skulls.
Talia, your evilness truly knows no bounds. These dwarfs are part of the Alliance of Good. You were also once part of that alliance.
To the dwarves' oversized hammer lay open. The trembling heroes prepared themselves for the final battle. You have lost a creature forever. The dwarven equipment spectacularly went up in flames, which was rather odd, as the creatures had only been hitting the thing with their weapons. But fine, perhaps horde weapons were made of flint. Yet the distraction provided by the dwarven intervention had shifted the destruction-loving evil's focus long enough for Talia and her stepbrother Tristan to disappear into the distance. With an imaginary sigh, the staggering evil took one last look around before setting off in pursuit. The path led to the Hellwoods, an eerie place claimed by the demonic creatures of the underworld.